personal worship. Krishna system, both are okay, but best is personal worship. Impersonal worship is troublesome. Now, from part 7 onwards, 6 onwards, glorification of devotional service. Jetu Sharvani Karmani Mohishanasya Matvara Annanaiva Yogena Mang Dhyantu Pasha Tesha Maham Samudatta Mittu Sangsara Sagara Bhavamina Chirat Partha Mohi Abhishita Chetasham. Jetu, those who, Je, Ye, those who, to, but. Why but? But. Because in previous verse, telling about impersonalist. But I'm telling about now personalist, devotee. There is a two words coming. Jetu. Sarvani karmani, all activities. Moi, unto me. Sannyasa, giving up. From this, sannyasa means giving up. Sannyas. Mat para. Mat para means being attached to this. Para. Para means surrender. Like Narayana para, Indra parayan, Udar parayan. So mat Krishna parayan. Being attached to Krishna. Ananyena, without deviation. No annena, ananyena. Eva, certainly. Yogena, by practice of sas bhakti yoga. Mam, unto me. Dhyanto, meditating. Upashata, worship. Tesham, of them is those devotees. Ahamai, Samudharta, deliver. Uddharta, deliverer. Uddharta. Samudharta, the deliverer. Mrityu, of death. Sangsara, the material existence. Sagara, from the ocean. Bhavami, I become. No, not Chirat, after a long time. Chir means long time. Achir means immediately. Partha, O son of Pritha. Moi, upon me. Aveshita, fixed. Chetosham, of those whose minds. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. In this 6th verse, telling why devotees are best, and 7th verse telling, I delivered them from ocean of birth and death. Mittu Sangsara Sakara. It is explicitly stated here that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord, and if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. If you don't serve Krishna, in the world, either Krishna or Maya. If you don't want to serve Krishna, then Maya is there. You are collecting money, earning money, not serving Krishna. That means you are keeping money for Maya. So, his duty to render service to Lord, and if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. If 24 hours you are not busy in serving Krishna, then means we are wasting that time for serving Maya. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve Him. one should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promises that without delay he will deliver a pure devotee, thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. Deliver from when? Without delay. No chirat. Without delay. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transport the soul to whatever planets they like by the yoga process. And others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord himself takes him. Like other processes is like taking a stair, and devotional service like a lift. He has nothing to do, just sit down. The devotee does not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. In the Bhagavad Puran, this verse appears. Nayami paramam sthanam orchiradi goting vina goruro skandam arappo yatacham anivarit. Here, Bhagavad Puran heard Krishna saying, Nayami paramam sthanam. Krishna will take one paramam sthan, Indra. How? Orchiradi goting vina. Orchiradi. Huh? Orchi means light. With the speed of light, with the speed of mind, with the speed of air. No need of that. Then how it take? Gorura skanda marappo. He just will sit with Krishna in the Gorura skanda and he'll go. That is devotee, lift. Now question, in Gorura skam, in the back of Gorura, if so speed, so many air, so how will we should not worry about that. The arrangement will be there. When you go with the flight, 1000 km per hour, how you feel? Comfortable. You don't feel any wind. In the same way, when you're in the back of the Garuda with Krishna, you will not feel anything. Disturbance, comfort. The process of this verse is that a devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga or Chiradi Gati. Adi means etc. Different parts. This is Ashtanga Yoga. In order to transfer his soul to the spiritual world, the responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord himself. He clearly states here that he himself becomes the deliverer. Krishna will come and sit down here with me, back of Guru. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by his great mercy, comes at once, riding on his bird carrier Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although A man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming. He cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. Any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayana, it is confirmed as follows. Javai sadhana sampatti purushartha chatushtaya toya bina tadapnoti naro narayana ashraya. Those are naro narayana ashraya. Those who have taken complete shelter Lord. He will get automatically. Javai sadhana sampatti, whatever is required, opulence. Even Purushartha Jyoti, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Toya Bina Tadapnati. Without any difficulty, he will get it. The purpose of this verse is that one shouldn't engage in different process of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes. Speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. The devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in 18th chapter. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarvabham muksheshami ma shucha. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. In previous verses, fourth chapter, Opichedashi papebhyo sarvebhyo papakrittama. If you think I am the most fallen in this world, he will also deliver. Whose power is better? Simple activity or Lord? Is the competition. Oh, he has done so much simple activities. Krishna can say, no, it is not possible for me to deliver. No, it will never be. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. One should not try futile process. Let everyone take shelter. Let everyone take shelter to the Supreme Omnipotent Godhead, Krishna. That is the highest perfection of life. Now, the process. So systematic. Now 6, 7 verse, why the hope is best. Now from 8 verse is the best. If you cannot do, take the next verse. If you cannot do, take the next system. If you cannot do the next. So first is telling the best. If you cannot, then other. The best is Moi eva mana adatsya moi buddhi nivesha. Nivashishyashi moi eva auto urdham nashansha. Moi unto me, eva certainly, mana, mind, adatsya, fixed. Moi unto me, buddhim, intelligence, niveshayo, apply. Nivashashashi, you will live. Moi in me, ever certainly. Ata urdham, thereafter, no, never, samshaya doubt. Translation. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. The highest. Just fix your mind upon me. That's all. Very simple. No, it is very difficult actually. Mana mana bhava mad bhakti mad jajima. There's verse 2 times. Bhagavad Gita. 9:34 and 1865. So how is important to always think of man mana bhava mad bhakti. Here also the same thing. Moi avashya mana. Moi avashya mana. Adatsya. What does it mean? Just fix your mind upon me. That's all. One who is engaged in Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. Krishnaized, immunized, neutralized, the Krishnaized. I think it's dictionary you will not find this type of word. Krishnaized. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so. Although this is a process recommended in the Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures. No, I have tried all my life. This controlling mind is very difficult. Yes? If you are unable, then try other person. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknashi maistira. Abhash yogena tato ma ichchaptum dhananjaya. Atha, if therefore chittam mind samadhatum fixed, no, not shaknoshi, you are able. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi. Na shaknoshi. You are unable to chittam samahita. Mind cannot fix man. Then what you should do? Moi unto me, sthiram, steadily. Abhash yogana, by the practice of devotional service. Tatah, then, ma, me, ichha, desire. Aptum, to get, dhananjaya, O winner of wealth, Arjun. My dear Arjun, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. In this verse, two different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love. And the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. For this second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Krishna. Bhakti Yoga is the purification of the senses. At the present moment, in material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in sense gratification. But by the process of Bhakti Yoga, the senses can become purified, and in the purified state, they come directly in contact with Supreme Law. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really lovingly serve my master. I simply serve to get some money, and the master also is not in love. He takes service from me and pays me. So there is no question of love. Most misused word is love. But for spiritual life, one must be elevated to the pure stage of love. That stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotional service performed with the present senses. This love of God is now in a dormant state of everyone's heart, and their love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by material association. Now, the heart has to be purified of the material association, and the dormant natural love for Krishna has to be revived. That is the whole process. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple, and offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna, then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuffs to offer to the deity, take prasad, and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow. And one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone rise to the level of love of God. And then he is sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga, under the rules and regulations, with the direction of a spiritual master, will surely bring one to the stage of love of God. If someone says, it is also difficult, okay, don't become hopeless. I have other steps. Obhashya bhi asamarthoshi, mat karma parama, madarthamapi karmani, kurvam siddhim avakshasi. Obhashya bhi asamartha, obhashya bhi asamartha. If you are unable to practice, obhashya opi asamartha. If you are unable to practice even, Ashi, you are, then mat karma parama bhava. Mat karma you are, parama, dedicated to bhava become. Mat karma bhava. Madartham, mat artham, for my sake, opi even, karmani work, kurvan performing, siddhim perfection, abhapshoshi you will achieve. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. 2 days ago, you read, Mat karma upit, mat parma, mat bhakta sanghavarjita, nirvaira sarvati jasya, 50, 11th chapter, 55 verse, previous chapter. Mat karma upit. Here is mat karma parma. If you are unable to practice abhash, then mat karma. Unable to practice, then do mat karma, work for me. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. One who is not able even to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, under the guidance of a spiritual master, can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Law. How to do this work has already been explained in 55th verse of the 11th chapter. Mat karma krit param. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaged in propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So even if you cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such one. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand, so the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for promoting Krishna consciousness, or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the results of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love of Godhead, whereupon one becomes perfect. If you are unable to do that, still you should not be hopeless. The next verse. If you are unable to do first, moyorpita manobuddhi, first. If unable, then abhas, practice. If unable, mat karma kri. If unable, we have to hear tomorrow, not today. Still, we are not hopeless. We have hope. Hare Krishna, I am a little busy today. I should stop. Hare Krishna. Super. Go.